What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the studio. As you can see, today's episode has a theme. We literally today just finished our Blanton's collection, and we have a bottle that we're about to crack and we're about to taste and let you know what we think about it. Hopefully it's good, because this was a couple years in the making.
Yeah, we don't know why we wanted to do it, but we wanted to spell it out. You know, every bottle has a letter, so we did the spell out. Then we finally got our first bottle after we finished the spelling. And we're going to try that one today.
So we'll let you guys know what we think. So here we go. Alright, so the one we're opening is, I believe, an N. Can't remember what. Is it an N that we have? The other side.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's one of the N's. I don't know if it's the first or the last one. However, we do have both N's. So we have the full set. And just to give a shout out, we have our buddy Brandon. Thanks, Brandon, for helping us out. And Homeplate Liquors in I guess Homeplate Liquors in Fort Pierce, Florida. Thank you guys. We couldn't have got this set without you guys hooking us up, helping us out. I wanted to get Blanton's before I even started drinking for this guy, because I knew he loved whiskey, and when the first whiskey I heard of was Blanton's, the special whiskeys. So I'm like, all right, I want to get him a bottle, and I looked for 2 years and I never saw one before, and finally I started working around, and then I started finding them in Florida for around $200, $250.
Yep.
And I was like, no, not doing that. Then I got into whiskey and soon found out exactly what it was, and we started making connections and finding them for much better price.
Yeah, and I think you're always going to have those guys who think, oh, it's not that good, oh, this is better.
And that's fine. Yeah. So did we pay MSRP for them? For one, we did. The other ones were a little bit more. They averaged about 120.
But we got them as low as 70 too.
Yeah, we got the one. We got two.
Two at 70.
We got two at 70, and we got the gold at MSRP. I can't even remember what it was. 300.
200.
200. I think it was 200. But we know that we didn't pay MSRP, and I know some people are going to judge and say it's not worth it. And I don't care. We wanted it, and we got it. Yep. Now, we also didn't pay, like the exorbitant, $5,000 for a whole collection. Those people are nuts asking that,
I'm going to go ahead and apologize for a minute here if the camera angle or anything's off. Our production.
We're just getting back into the swing of things.
Our producer is not here today. She is absent from our help, and we're also doing some other stuff, so we've been running around a little crazy.
It's been a day.
Yeah, so that being said, our angle and everything seems off to me, but it just may be my imagination, or it could be.
Either way, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we're just starting batches. I just came back. We just reunited. This is literally going to be our first batch episode since I've been back from Iraq.
Yep.
As you can see, the beard is longer. And the face is slightly slimmer.
Our weight loss challenge has yielded no immediately noticeable results, but we still have another 4 months. So,
however, it's not a fair competition. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, he's lost more weight than me
I just have the ability and opportunity and the time to be able to do it much easier because I'm in Baghdad. He has life here.
Those distractions and less
options.
I work a lot of overtime, so I work a lot. But all right, let's do this thing.
So this is not our first time having Blanton's. We've had it before at a restaurant.
Yes.
But
as I always say, if you didn't watch them pour it, you can't ever be 100%. You have what you paid for.
Now, I know people judge Blanton's and say things about it and all. This smells fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it does. I love Buffalo Trace, so I'm sure, just like the first time I had this, it'll be good.
It's very like, there's caramel, there's vanilla, caramel and vanilla just bomb. And maybe butterscotch. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but caramel, vanilla, and I think of butterscotch. You know, in case anybody is curious, which I don't know if you are. Where is it? This is something. He was reading right off of it. So, okay, there you go. Barrel number 490 on Rick number 4. March 8th of 2024. So just in case anybody knows and follows that.
And it's got that lovely mouth and throat warmth that we know and love from bourbon.
Yeah, this is I'm just now thinking we should have had a drink before we had this, starter, but it tastes really good.
I've never let down by anything that
Buffalo
Trace does. I tend to be a fan of just about everything they do.
I really like that. Then again, I mean, maybe one day we'll have to do this in a blind and see where it stacks up against other things. Maybe it's just the excitement of getting the whole collection. I don't know. But based on, I mean, like really, when it comes down to it and you're drinking something, even if your mind is playing tricks on you and it tastes good at that moment, isn't it good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
I agree. But you got two very different things. Like I like Blanton's. I like Buffalo Trace. They're more of a I don't even know how I explain it. They're you got a little bit more heat, a little
the Kentucky
a little bit thinner kind of consistency to me, and
not
they got
very,
a nice mild, smooth flavor.
On the sweeter side.
Yeah, it's on the sweeter side. But then if you put that up against another bourbon that I love, like Woodford Reserve Double Oak,
yeah.
it's very
Thick,
dark, thick, has a very maple syrupy kind of quality
Coats the
to
tongue.
it. Yeah. And this is.
I was listening to somebody. They were someone on YouTube. I wish I could remember which it is. They were talking about how Buffalo Trace, just a regular Buffalo Trace, is more like a satiny flow over the tongue versus like a Woodford Reserve that coats your tongue. Because this is not, it's not very oily.
No, this reminds me, and maybe I'm wrong, so I'm sure there'll be some people in the comments or people that view this and go, oh, he's off his rocker. And I may be. Probably am. But it reminds me, when I drink it, a lot more of Irish whiskey.
I need to try more Irish
It's bourbon,
whiskey.
but it also has, to me, it has a very...
kind of florally.
Very Irish whiskey kind of feel. It almost feels a little bit more thin, if that's the right word. There's probably terms that they use that are better designed.
It is 93 proof, so
I'm very congested today.
For bourbon, it's a little bit. It's a little on the lowish side of some things that we drink. But I think it's. So, like I said, we paid about $120, $125, somewhere around there for it. I'm not mad that I did. I'm perfectly content with it.
Yeah, I can open one of these bottles at every mildly
Yeah.
special occasion we have and be completely happy to turn out this product. For the occasion.
Yeah, I'm perfectly.
It's good.
You know, do you have any? You're getting a hint of like any smokiness?
Well,
Not
it's
like,
hard to say because we've been breathing in.
Yeah.
Smoker. We've been smoking food today.
We've been smoking
Now
ribs today, so it could.
It could be a linger over from our sinuses, and we've been outside, so I'm very congested because allergies are really running crazy right now in Florida.
And as you can see, I don't know. It could be showing up, but it's not very dark. It looks a lot darker in the bottle, especially the gold. But if you see, it's not. It looks pretty dark in the bottle.
It's very amber.
But it does have more of like a Scotch color versus a bourbon darkness. But I'm perfectly happy with what we paid, what we got. Come to find out, The bottle we're drinking now is a standalone. It doesn't match any of the other ones. A couple of the other ones have matching barrels, and they come from the same barrels. So we have this one that's not. We have 2 that are from the same barrel, another 2 from the same barrel, and I think the other 3 are not. So
yeah, and I'm gonna say it. It doesn't have anything to do with how good the whiskey is, because I like the whiskey, whether it was in this or in a glass or in a different bottle. But the bottle's cool. The bottle's a pretty cool bottle, man. It is definitely a unique bottle. It's got the whole, the race of the horses.
Yeah.
It very much makes you think of, Kentucky and the horse races and all of that. So it definitely has its own thing going.
It
I
makes
like
me want to
kind
wear
of
a
the brown
fancy
paper
hat.
bag kind of label that looks like it's, like old brown
Yeah.
sack or something. The writing, I just think it's a well put together product.
It just the incredible job marketing, just incredible. And I guys, it's Blanton's. I mean, come on, we all know what it is.
And we could probably have done this, just tasted it and said what we thought about it and been done, because everybody knows it.
Yeah,
there's so many tastings and conversations about it on the internet, on YouTube. So
yeah, and it's.
But we were pretty happy. We finished the collection this week, and we're able to pick up a bottle to actually drink, which we will start drinking through those once we get past the initial week or so of being like, oh, we got the whole collection, because we'll nerd out a little bit on it. And
But,
then we'll eventually start drinking it, because that's what whiskey's for. None of us are going to live forever.
We have, I mean, compared to some people, let's be real here, we have a good amount of whiskey, but for us, we have a lot of whiskey. And the way we drink it, I mean, like, we don't usually drink the same thing every day. We'll take a drink from one, a drink from another day. So we don't burn through bottles, because we have quite a collection, and we keep acquiring more.
It used to be, back in the day, I started my journey at like 14 drinking Jack Daniels, and for many, many years, that's all I ever, old number 7, that's all I ever drank. And so it was, you just knew if I was drinking, it was Jack Daniels and beer, together. Not mixed, but one as a chaser, just shots and beer. Then I moved into, pours as opposed to shots, and slowly cut out the beers. Then I got into drinking other whiskey, and wow, that has opened up so much for me. But I just love it all. But I'm also under the opinion that you can't take it with you. None of us are going to live forever. Tomorrow could be our last day. So drink it.
And especially, like, when I'm home, we have the opportunity where our whole family comes together, and we have close friends, and we're all here.
Yeah, because we're in here right now, but we got half the tribe
half the people are, and tomorrow's going to be even
ribs.
crazier. Tomorrow's going to be insane. I can't wait. We're doing brisket tomorrow. So.
Tomorrow's going to be brisket.
And you'll be seeing videos of that coming up soon too. But on top of you can't take it. Not only can you not take it with you, but why? People say like, oh, it's for a special occasion and this and that, and I can tend to agree. Like, let's be real. If somebody picked up this Blanton's and tried to pour it into, with some Coke, I'm gonna say like, stop. We'll let you. If you spend your money and you buy Blanton's and you want to mix it with Coke, cool.
So whiskey, your opinion.
But
your desire.
No. We have other stuff that you can mix with
Here's
Coke.
my thing. I have a theory that, to me, anytime we're hanging out and our family's together, that's a special occasion.
Yeah.
I'll open anything.
That's what I was saying. Like,
now, if it's just me by
matter.
myself, there's certain whiskeys in our collection I will not touch unless Jeffrey's home and we're hanging out. We're like, hey, let's open this, Especially anytime you get over the $100 mark into a bottle of whiskey. So you get up into the 1s, 2s, 3s, 400s. Especially if we've never had it.
Yeah.
It's a less experiences together as best friends kind of vibe.
The two that we discussed that we're kind of like on the same page is the two that we both admit absolutely not going to drink without each other is the Gold, and maybe have an opportunity for a reason to crack that open coming up. And the other one is the Penelope Pravada Select that I got through the Pravada Cigar Club. They did a barrel pick at PravadaCon last year. I haven't been able to get my hands on the one that was from this year. I'm still hoping eventually I'll be able to get my hands on it. But pretty much those are the only two that I would prefer not opening if we're not together. But anything else, like we talked about it, we went through and I'm like, you know what? It's whiskey, dude. It's not, especially with family and with people that matter, it doesn't even matter,
Right.
That's just how it ends up being.
And I think just drinking whiskey alone is a special occasion. I mean, it warms my heart and does me good.
Makes you feel all warm and
We'll be drinking much more of this tonight. We'll actually be having probably a few pours with some of the kids. Well, I say kids.
Okay.
They're all over 21.
We say kids, but kids to us.
They're all over 21, so.
Yeah. So
we're just old as dirt.
This is gonna be, we just wanted to crack it open, wanted to share it with you guys, wanted to give it a taste. And then tonight we're gonna have some sips around. We're gonna enjoy it with the ribs that we're smoking now. And tomorrow, got a couple ideas with what we'll do another tasting with you guys for what we're gonna be drinking that night. And just, that's how it's going.
So I guess on the tasting, my final notes would be good bourbon. I would buy it again. I like it. I know it's a little more expensive than others, and it's I think it's worth the money. I mean, it might push the boundary once it gets over 120. It might be
No,
I personally won't buy it over 120, but.
In the 120 is about as high as I'm gonna go. So like I've been flying through airports, international and stuff like that. And when you go to duty frees, right now they're selling them at duty free for about 134 to 139. I'm not gonna pay that, mainly because I have the ability to get it for cheaper. But
now duty free, does that only affect as you're flying into this into the U.S. or if you fly into like Baghdad or wherever you fly into?
So duty free.
Would there be a duty free there that would have it as you're getting ready to go back to work?
So duty free, you can only buy it if you're departing international.
All right, so you'd have to be leaving the country. See, that was my concern because the only way I would pay $134 for this is if I was headed to Iraq to go back to work, and they had it, and I could get it before I exited out the gate. Because it's when you work at. Can you say where you work?
Yeah, I work at the embassy.
When you work at the embassy, and you basically are subject to what the PX for your American home goods stuff like whiskeys and stuff like that. This doesn't roll up very often in the rotation, nor does most any other high-end whiskey.
Right now, basically the best whiskey that they have there, the one that I haven't been able to pull the trigger on, but I've really been thinking about it, is what is it called? Dalmore Cigar Malt. Which is I think $2.99, and I want to get it. I'm not gonna lie, I want to get it, but that's a lot of money. Maybe one day I'll just I'll say screw it, grab it, throw it in my bag, and bring it home.
That makes my point. My point is if you're going to a place where you can't just go to your local liquor store and pick up $100, $200, or even a 50, 60, or 40, 30, whatever bottle that you love and you know that you love. You're willing to put out a little, like, over there, I might be willing to go as high as $200 on a bottle of Blanton's because you can't get anything else in that level.
Right, because, especially if it's your thing, if that's your whiskey. Like, for me right now, my number one favorite, I have to say, is the Old Forester 100, which is super inexpensive, by the way. It's like $25 for a 750. Spectacular whiskey. But then the 1910 as well, but that's twice as much money. But when you're dealing with your favorite whiskey, sometimes you're like, I'm willing to pay a little bit more to have it and have that comfort. So I could see I could see why somebody would. I personally wouldn't go over 120.
Well, I wouldn't for the U.S., but I'm telling you, if I was stuck in Iraq for 3 months and Blanton's was my best whiskey I could get, but it was $200, I'd be buying a $200 bottle of Blanton.
Yeah, I mean,
because I wouldn't want to be over there for 3 months and have no option to have a cigar.
Especially if it's your thing, I understand it. I totally do. But before we close out, I just wanted to tell you what something that we have in the works. And when I say have in the works, the only reason we're not doing it right now is because we just put it together and we had to rinse it out. It's drying and don't want to get water in it. We have a decanter. And the decanter is, I think, 1,000 milliliters, I believe.
Yeah.
Somewhere along that. I'm not 100, I can't remember exactly. But what we're going to do is every time we have a tasting and we record it for you guys, we're going to take a pour. Haven't decided if it was 2 ounces or 1 ounce. I can't remember what we decided.
I think we're going to do a 2 ounce.
I think it was 2 ounces. We're going to take a 2 ounce pour and we're going to make an infinity bottle.
Yeah.
Now, the infinity bottle is in everything but Isla. We're not going to put Isla in it. And we're going to, every time we do a tasting, a sample, we're going to put a pour in there. And we're just going to do it until it's full. Then we're going to do a tasting. And we might be finding a way to share it with you guys.
We will, because if you, at some point you'll see the one we already did. We already have an infinity bottle. It is actually right here.
Right there. That's
it's good.
The bourbon infinity.
When he first started talking about infinity bottles and doing this, and I just thought this is some backwoods hokum. I just thought, what kind of bullshit is he trying to roll about? Because I was like, dude, it's already in a bottle and it tastes great. Why do we need to jumble it all up and make some weird contraption and call that? But it's fun to do. It's fun to take that pour,
and
pour
especially,
it in there.
especially like this, if you have a reason.
Because I never would have thought it brings about a unique and very tasty flavor that consistently changes. Because say we pour 2 ounces in, it gets full, then we start drinking out of it. Well, every time we take a drink,
we fill it up.
The next time we drink something that hasn't been put in the bottle, we put 2 ounces back in.
Yep.
So the flavor is always evolving, always shifting. It might be a little more brown sugar, a little bit more bourbon, one 6 months, and then 6 months, a year later, it might be more
or something
Irish whiskey. It just depends on what we're into for that couple of months, what we're drinking the most of. And anybody that's watched the show for a minute knows I love Irish and Scotch and Irish whiskey big time. That's really what I got into after Jack Daniels, before I even got into bourbons, was your Jameson's Black Barrel, Monkey
He was
Shoulder.
just giving me shit for not drinking enough Irish whiskey and Scotch. So
yeah,
I
love bourbon. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm gonna have to expand into that.
I'm a believer that bourbon is amazing and I love it hands down. But it got its start in all whiskey from Irish
and Scotch for sure.
Scotch. I mean, that's pretty much where whiskey all started.
Birthplace for sure.
And so to me, it's like, it's great, and the flavors are different, and the water's different,
and
the natural environments are different.
And that's the thing I discovered when we did our tasting with the whiskey club, the craft whiskey club, is that it's not as punch you in your mouth like bourbon. Bourbon is a very punch you in your mouth, bitch. But when you taste Scotch, it's completely different flavor palette. It's completely different.
I think it has a little bit more, not all of it, but some of it has a little bit more citrusy notes than you get in bourbons and American whiskeys.
I can't really explain. All I know is when I drink bourbon, I know it's bourbon, and when I drink Scotch, I know it's Scotch. I don't know how to explain.
It's almost like you get a little bit more sweetbreads and vanilla flavor over there, and over here you get a little bit more maple syrup, kind of a heavier, thicker caramel. That's just my personal take on it, for what it's worth.
Now, of course, we're going to be expanding because we love whiskey, and he likes the Irish and Scotch, and he's allowed me to just go crazy with the bourbon, so I think it's time that I pay it back and drink some Scotch and Irish.
Yes. And what's funny is his first drink, his first whiskey that got him chasing the whiskey dream was Jameson Black Barrel.
Jameson Black Barrel.
Everybody that's tried it loves it. I can't say enough about how good that stuff is, especially for the price point. It's not expensive. One of our future son-in-laws comes over. He's really getting into the whiskey with us. He's 21. And
he was just talking about
starting to get into the cigars and whiskeys with us and all that. And he has tried bourbons and American whiskeys, and he's tried a little bit of everything, with us. But then I gave him a drink out of the Black Barrel, and he said he thinks up to date it is his favorite that he's had so far. Yeah. And it is. I can't say enough about it because I'm not a huge Jameson's. Yeah. The original Jameson's itself, I think it's a little harsh. It's good, but it's just, man,
It's
I
different
really
level.
like the black.
Totally
Barrel. It
different
is.
level.
I can drink that all night at any get together.
But I need to drink some more of the Scotch and Irish whiskey because I'm battling with myself in my mind right now whether Jameson or the Monkey Shoulder. I honestly couldn't decide.
Very different flavors.
Completely different flavors. But when I'm saying my favorite, like I it's hard to say because I love the citrus of the Monkey Shoulder versus.
We also have that bottle of Japanese whiskey that I
Yes.
am really looking forward to doing a review for you, or to give you our opinion on if it competes with Scotch, Irish whiskey, or American whiskey. Is it even in the same same ballpark? Is it even the same drink?
So like with Japanese whiskey, from my understanding, is that the person who brought whiskey to Japan actually went to Scotland and learned how to make whiskey the Scottish way, and from there brought it over to Japan. And of course, maybe even if they make it the same way, the process might be the same, but the outcome's going to be completely different because you got to deal with the different temperatures, the different humidity. You got all the other aspects of it, the water, what barrels they're using. Everything's completely different location wise.
But you're going to
I'm looking forward to trying it.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
You're going to start getting a little bit more whiskey reviews from us because
Yeah.
we've decided to start doing a shorter videos on our bye weeks because anybody that's followed us for a minute knows we release every other Friday, except on a special occasion like the May 4th when we let it come out on the 5th or on the Saturday instead of the Friday because it fit the right day. But typically speaking, we do a down week, we do a busy week. Well, we've decided we're going to start doing some recordings of tastings. That'll be a much shorter video, maybe a 15-minute video. Sometimes we get a little wordy, and it might drag a little long, but we're going to try to keep it to about 15-minute videos.
Especially
and
if we're just
kind of bang out the notes, say what we think.
If we're having fun and we start talking, they're going to go a little bit longer. Sorry.
Yeah. So we're going to start doing that, and that's our plan. And being able to release on our off week 1 or 2 short videos.
Because
it might even be mixing drinks.
Because right now, we are not Jeremy Sires. We don't have an indoor smoking room. So during the summer here in Florida, cigar footage is going to go down a little bit because it is disgusting.
And he only says that, Jeremy, if you ever watch our show, out of jealousy and love.
Oh,
because we respect the shit out of your show.
Oh.
It's kind of what helped us decide that we wanted to do our show. I mean, son who would not let it stop, that he wanted to see us do YouTube.
I would have to say he is the biggest influencer I have.
Yeah, definitely the person I watch the most on
sure.
YouTube. Actually, one of only 2 whiskey shows I watch. 3.
Yeah.
One of 3 whiskey shows that I watch consistently. Occasionally, I'll catch another, but then I switch over into I got this whole Viking heritage. I love watching sailboat. These people that live on sailboats and travel all over, and it's just
I can't say the same.
Well, the reason is because I can't. I'm too old, and I got grandkids, and I'm not about to sell everything I got, jump on a sailboat, and go live. Even though it is tempting. I'm not going to do it.
He couldn't live without
And I don't know that I could fit enough whiskey on it and cigars to keep me happy.
He couldn't live without me. Don't let him fool you.
Well, yeah, but he could go too. There's more than one bedroom on that boat. We can put him in one of the staterooms.
There it is.
But I just can't see me making that lifestyle for a permanent thing. You never know. Every day's a different day, man.
There's always got to be something to look forward to.
I could eat a taco tomorrow, think I'm dying, and decide to sell it all on my sailboat. Who the fuck knows? But
so we're having tacos tomorrow?
No, I'm just saying, a taco. You
brisket
feel like
tacos.
Oh, dude, stop it.
Brisket tacos with like coleslaw, but not.
I bet you that, or like brisket burritos and stuff. I mean,
that's what I mean, right? Like a soft taco, like with like coleslaw, but not like too creamy.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow we could whip up the mac and cheese, dissect the brisket. Not tomorrow, Sunday. Take a little of the leftover brisket, put it in the mac and cheese, and have brisket and mac and cheese.
So look, here's the freaking deal. All right, I've lost about 25 pounds since our competition started.
And my goal is to fatten him back up before he goes back.
I've been doing really freaking good at sticking to my damn diet. Mainly because, to be honest with you, it's not really all about the competition. Mainly it's about, we've got grandkids now, we're going to have more grandkids, and we want to get healthier for them. We want to get healthier for the family. But it's also because I want to kick his ass and get a $200 bottle of whiskey from him. And he's trying to sabotage me. Look at that.
I am. Because I have not fared well this first couple of months of our competition due to the fact that, well, I love food, but so does he.
Yeah.
But mostly, in all reality, is I have gout, which I don't know how many people know it. It's absolute living hell. And because of it, every time I switch my diet, like I say, I clean my eating up from just being a junk eater to eating, trying to healthy and clean, and I have months after months of just consistent flare-ups, which kills your momentum and your energy level. And I know it sounds like an excuse, and it is,
motivation,
but it knocks your motivation out because you got to limp your ass out to the gym. You're hurting the whole time you're out there. Anybody that hasn't knows, if that foot's not elevated and free of sock or blanket or anything, then it's throbbing pain. And even then it's still throbbing, but it's not throbbing as bad. So that you wind up just saying, not today. Maybe it'll be better by tomorrow. And the next thing you know, a couple months or weeks are gone by. You're still limping around. I'm still limping around, but it is getting better. I'm dealing with my doctor. And the funny thing is, I'm also on preventative this whole time. So it's not like I haven't cleaned up my diet and I'm on preventative. I just am still struggling with it. And me and the doctor cannot figure out why, with those drastic changes that I made, am I still having this much struggle with it?
And the worst part is, on top of everything, it's all the healthy shit that you want to eat and all the healthy shit you want to do is bad for you. That's the shit that aggravates it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sitting here like, okay, hey, let's do...
Yeah, we went out to eat the other day.
Yeah.
You're like, can you have asparagus?
Let's do spinach and asparagus and this. And he's like, I can't do it. It'll kill me. And it's
won't kill me. It raises the chances of being in pain.
Just the pain. The pain is
anyway.
But
I didn't mean to go down that dark and sad woe tale.
Like I said, once we start talking, the videos might get a little longer. Join us. Love it. We're giving you us.
This is us, man. If you ever hung out with us, this is how our day goes, no matter what.
Us.
We start off with one topic, next thing you know, we're talking about aliens landing on the moon. Or maybe Americans landing on the moon, which is not quite as believable as aliens.
What? It's funny that you say that. Just yesterday, the news came out saying that on the moon, there's a strange noise coming from the landing location of the American lunar landing zone from the 60s.
You know what they did? They probably sold that studio in California, and somebody's renovating their building next door, so they're hearing these weird noises on their fake moon set.
Now, the article also explained what it was, and it's quite obvious if you know anything about actual space. But this guy, I can't wait to hear what he thinks the noises are. Just like he said, they sold the studio. But hilarious. But yeah,
Ricky the raccoon is living in the building next door to the moon.
What about the moon? Not the moon landing, the moon.
The moon.
And let's not even talk about the mouse that ran across the rocket while it was in space. We're not even. Yeah, the moon. All right, so we gotta close up because we gotta go check on the ribs. And look, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear back.
Smash that bell.
Smash the bell. And we can't wait to share more of our drinking experience.
Love you guys. We'll get drunk with you later.
Peace out, everybody.